Why, hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as Screen Speak, and in today's video, this happens to be my Mandalorian and Grogu spoiler review with a few extra details sprinkled in. Without further ado, let's discuss. Alright guys, so before I actually get to the review itself, I'm going to move myself upwards. I'm a little bit higher than normal. Not on any special fluid or any special powder, but I'm just a little bit higher on my chair here than normal. So there you go, now you can see me. I got this desk here. My dad built a new desk. We're doing some home renovations. You can see some stuff there. It's all good. That's my college stuff there. This is a new desk, and if you see any clutter in the background, ignore it. It's some stuff we brought down because we're doing some floor renovations upstairs. Also, I did get to meet Jon Campea when I went to see Mandalorian and Grogu. Such a great time. I did post over on my community tab here on YouTube and as well on my Twitter page. So be sure to see the images there. I got to meet him. I got to chat with him a little bit with some other fans here in my area, in the Ohio area, the Ohio movie meetup. Saw that he came into the theater that for the Mandalorian and Grogu screening. And the trailer for the movie The End of Oak Street was playing, and he goes, "Yeah, dinosaurs!" And just the whole theater, I applauded and yeah. So it was awesome to meet him. If you have not checked out his channel or subscribed to him, he is a really cool movie YouTuber. I love him. I've been subscribed to him for 5 years, as well as other people like Christian Hall, the people I subscribe to. But check him out. He's doing movie meetups, and I went to one. It was a blast. So I enjoyed Mandalorian and Grogu. So speaking of that, let's go into the review. I enjoyed seeing it there, and what I think of the movie. I thought it was... I enjoyed it. But the problem... Here's the thing, is I am a Star Wars guy, but I think at the end of the day, people, like... not yesterday. I didn't hear as a whole lot. I was asking people after the movie at the meetup going, so what'd you think of it? And they were like, yeah, it was good. It was enjoyable. You know, it's one of the, like, it should have been like, this was the best thing Star Wars has put out in a while. But I want you guys to know something. I'm not a massive hater on Disney Star Wars. The only one I don't really vibe with Solo. I much rather watch something more. Like, I think there's some enjoyable moments in Solo, but I like the sequels, all three of the sequels, not equally. Force Awakens was the best. And then they decline, but I don't have a massive issue with The Rise of Skywalker. I understand its flaws, but I don't have a massive issue with it. I like some of the action-packed moments, you know, some of the cameo, like, okay, we got Carrie Russell, or is it Carrie Russell? But, like, I especially like Benicio del Toro and then Justin Theroux's random cameos, and Laura... What is her name from Jurassic Park? The woman from Jurassic Park. But I don't know. And Last Jedi. But again, this Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian, it does feel like an episodic season crammed into a movie, which I do personally get. But watching it, because I never saw Solo in the theater, and then when people were like, it's like whatever, and then I finally saw Solo, and I was like, oh, huh? I didn't fully understand it. Now, therefore, I also didn't, full disclosure, I didn't understand Rogue One at the time. I was like, this movie sucks. Like, this movie's dumb. Everybody died. Like, the whole cast died. Again, this was when it came out back in 2016. 16 when it came out. And I was like, I was 14 at the time. Oh, I was 14. So, I didn't fully grasp it. Now, at 22... I understand. And it's my second favorite Star Wars movie. So I understand. And it's great. Yes, it is my second favorite Star Wars movie. Take that. If you want to fight me, go ahead. Second favorite Star Wars movie. Like, yes, there might be shuffles like A New Hope is classic. Return of the Jedi has great moments. But also, there's some things in Return of the Jedi that don't really vibe with me. Like, there's some stuff that's great. Don't get me wrong. But we're here talking about Mando. So there's some stuff in it that made me go... classic Star Wars. And then other moments that go, like, what are we doing? The two moments, shoot, I already forget. Oh, Jon Campea mentioned yesterday that Sigourney Weaver gets, like, the weakest paycheck she's ever had. she was fine in there. She really didn't need to be there. Now, other people, well, specifically my mom was like, when she was there, my parents both went. And she's like, I didn't know the Hutts could move that easily. I was like, yeah, well, I mean, listen, Dave Filoni does what he wants, and Dave Filoni had a little bit of cameos in there as well, so that was cool. But the other thing is, Jeremy Allen White's voice is so unrecognizable. He didn't need to be in the movie, but his character, Rodder the Hutt, buff Rodder the Hutt, I loved him in that role. I was wondering how much he was going to be in the movie. I didn't know if it was just going to be the gladiator scene. That room, that fight scene with the arena, there's a great bar scene and everything. The bar scene is great. The bar fight scene is great, which was John Campea mentioned. But the arena scene, where it's feels like Thor Ragnarok, which is a great Marvel movie. And this scene was awesome, where Jeremy Allen White and Mando are fighting, and then you just see all these creatures come up, and it looks like the Millennium Falcon chess game. It is unbelievably amazing, in my opinion, because yes, this movie might not be the best. It's my ninth. I put it on Letterboxd. I ranked it as my 9th favorite Star Wars movie. I did put it over Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, even though I like moments like Snoke's throne room and stuff. But, and don't get me wrong, I am very excited. I'm very interested in to see Ahsoka Season 2. And like I was going to mention before, about people like, oh, Star Wars is doomed because this movie is making so little. You have to understand a couple, some things, right? This marketing was very wishy-washy, because I think, same thing with Masters of the Universe. 2 points. A, Masters of the Universe, where people were going, where the marketing team was like, we don't know how this movie's going to do, because we don't know if we want to make it too cartoon, if we want people to think it's like the cartoon, a new version of it, how we want people to feel. Okay, well, I'm excited regardless for Masters of the Universe, but for Star Wars, I will always have a love for Star Wars. I could go into a long spiel about, my excitement for Marvel. I think Star Wars is doing better, can do better than DC. I could go into that big long rant, but I won't, because that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is Mando. And so Star Wars, I think that the marketing team, marketing team is different than people that say like Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau. By the way, I thought Jon Favreau did a great job directing this. Seeing Zeb in there was great. So I liked his characters a lot. Okay, so the marketing team went, well, we don't know how people are going to feel about this specific movie, the 7 years, the Star Wars movie 7 years after Rise of Skywalker. Personally, I didn't care. I liked that, because it's a popular show. Like, yeah, the third season wasn't great, but it's a popular show that people were really into. If we did an Andor movie, which I know Andor, we can't do Andor, but if we did an Andor movie, people would be going, okay, why? If we did an Obi-Wan movie, maybe people would go see it, but I was not a fan of that Obi-Wan show. And if we did a Boba Fett movie, people didn't like that Boba Fett show. Now, again, Boba Fett was in the Mando universe, but if we did another Solo movie, people probably wouldn't have gone. Like, if that was a movie, if we did a Solo 2, that would have not been good. Mando and Grogu are at least popular enough to get people to go see it. And that's where I'm like, okay, get people to go to the theater, and then now tell people that next year, I'm a little bit biased because this movie comes out on my birthday, Star Wars Starfighter is going to be the bomb. And if it's not the bomb, and if it literally does bomb, then that's a problem. But I'm excited for that one, and get people on board and say, hey guys, we know Mando wasn't well received, but look forward to the next one. And that's all. That's kind of what I hope, the approach that they take. But we'll have to wait and see. All I know is that there's some stuff, like, again, I like some of the action scenes. And I'll talk about something I didn't like. Jeremy Allen White was like, okay. The guy, I'll talk about something. There's two people I really liked in this film. One was a human voice, or a human character, that played, who was Mr. Delmar in the Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy. Or the Home trilogy, excuse me, and Homecoming, and that was the shop. The sandwich shop is referenced in No Way Home, but he is in No Way Home, Homecoming. I mean, and that same actor plays El Brujo in Ash vs. the Evil Dead. I did a whole full on binge within the one week, last week, of Ash vs. the Evil Dead. So glad I watched that show, and he's in this movie. He's the first character you see. Well, gathering sitting at a desk in front of a room of people, and like, oh, hail the Empire, like long live the Empire, or whatever he says. And dude, I was giddy that this man was in the first scene of the movie, and Mando was tracking him down and taking out criminals like left and right, like with his flamethrower, and pew pew. And it was great, and the action was great, and I loved it. And then the title card was awesome. There was no crawl, but it was text on screen. And I'm hoping for Star Wars Starfighter going down the line that because it's not Jon Favreau, because it's like Sean Levy will be directing. Like I know Dave Filoni is at the head of Star Wars, but I want them to use Star Wars crawls. I want them to use text crawls in space and stuff. This one felt a little generic, and it wasn't a Star Wars crawl. It was just text on screen. But then, like, when the Mandalorian title card came up and the music, the Ludwig Göransson, by the way, 2 Ludwig Göransson scores this year. And plenty, like an Alan Silvestri score, 3 Daniel Pemberton scores, and Hans Zimmer score for Harry Potter. Like, it's going bananas. Bananas. It's a crazy word, but let's use it. It's crazy bananas. And, oh gosh, the Ludwig Göransson score happens when the title card comes up. Ba-bong. Boom, 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 boom. And then as the main theme goes on, we do this like retro, like like when Beetlejuice would come on and like text the names would appear on screen. They do that with this, and it feels very kind of retro in a good way. Kind of, I'm sorry, it's not a big gripe, but if they don't do it with Masters of the Universe, it'll feel a little bit cheap. I'll feel cheapened out. But maybe that's the vibe that we're going for now. I mean, no, we don't need to switch back to the 80s, but, I like that's the vibe they were going for with this one, and then I hope that they do something similar with Masters of the Universe. Listening to that track that they put out for Masters of the Universe, and then knowing what they've got, like the vibe they got going on, I hope they do something similar like that. So, the thing I didn't like, the guy that helped Mando with his fish, and in the fish area in the swamp with the Hutt planet, looked like Dagobah. He was like, "You're scared? You should be." The guy that says that in the trailer. He was voiced by the guy that was in Suicide Squad, was telling the military to shoot down. I couldn't think about it last night when I was talking to John Campea. I was like, not Guggenheim, but Jotunheim. There it is. Of course, I couldn't think about it last night, but I thought about it now. Jotunheim. It's like, shoot it down. Despedes. Whatever he says. I don't speak the language he was speaking. Mexican or whatever he is. I think, I said Asian, Japanese. It might be Mexican. Oh, well. I don't know. But he, let's see. I like it. He was also in the movie Civil War that came out a couple years ago. And he's a great actor. He's in some other stuff, too. I think it was like Stephen McFeely or something or other. And the point I didn't like is when Mando then goes to see that guy and is like, oh yeah, we need a speaking role now. It felt like 10, 15, 20 minutes of like no dialogue, nothing. Mando or Grogu on his own adventure trying to save Mando from this poison from the dragon snake. And it was a very boring, a tad boring. It was interesting, but kind of boring. But I'm not trying to say this movie brings it down for me. It just was, I mean, a little bit. But yeah, it didn't. This movie overall didn't suck. So, just because of that. But I like the Hutts involved. I like this. I like that. And I love Embo. Embo coming in like it's a Clone Wars villain, and people go like, "Who's that?" I don't know. It's just a bounty hunter. So deal with it. They didn't really say they never said Embo, but fans know, super fans know it's Embo. But I like that. Seeing Embo there, the Hutts are there, Zeb is there. It's cool. I can't wait for Ahsoka season 2. I'm interested. I'm not saying I'm over the moon about it. I didn't go crazy for the first season, but I like the Rebels characters enough to go, that was fine. I liked it. I have 2 thoughts in mind. One, this movie, again, I'm not really... I'd watch this movie again by myself with anybody over Solo. I just never had the interest to go back to Solo. And I'm not big on, the young... I love... what is his name? Donald Glover plays Troy in Community. Donald Glover as Lando, and Alden Ehrenreich, who's in Weapons, and Oppenheimer as Han Solo. But I never I like those the castings, and Kira, the girl who plays Kira, from Game of Thrones. But I don't go back to watch Solo for anything in particular. I got Paul Bettany in it, but I don't go watch it. But we got the Hutts, right? We have the Hutts. We have Zeb. Love that character. We have Mandalorian, great character. Grogu, great character. Popular show. We have Sigourney Weaver, didn't really need to be there. We have Dave Filoni appearing in there. We have some other cool things. Okay. really cool guy with a horn that got torn off. And Martin Scorsese, don't forget about him. His character was cool. And we have the gladiator scene. We have cool scenes in this movie that I appreciated. Cool action moments. In Mando, or in the Solo, I'm just like, I don't really know, you know? And it's like, especially with the old Clone Wars movie, I say old, but the Clone Wars movie that came out before the show with Rada the Hutt, the first appearance, it's like, that movie, similar to this, it feels like a TV show, like some episodes just crammed together. Now, I'm hoping that because of this movie with its struggles that it's going to overcome, I'm hoping that they can think that Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau, they're involved, whoever's involved, and future filmmakers for Star Wars go, okay, let's not do that. Like, let's make something that people are excited about. You know, I was interested in Mando, but it didn't get the high reception, so we'll have to see. All I can say is that I enjoyed it, and I'm looking up for Star Wars. So, but that's the thing, though. It's like, I don't want Dave Filoni to just go, oh, we need Ahsoka. We need Ahsoka verse. Like, we need a Mando verse. You know, I don't know. Because he lived. He doesn't die by the poison. So, I mean, they end the movie like, oh, we could do more with Mando. But I'm looking forward to Starfighter, and I want them to make new creative ideas and new things people are actually hyped up about. Because a lot of people weren't interested about this movie. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. So, I'm hoping that I enjoyed this. I didn't hate it fully, but there are things that I'm interested in. I hope, like I said, I don't know if Dave Filoni always wants to do Ahsoka, but I'm interested in this season 4, in his next season, season 2, and what Star Wars Starfighter has to offer us. That comes out on my birthday, so I'm a little bit biased towards it, and it's Sean Levy, and I can't wait. And Ryan Gosling, and Amy Adams, and whoever else is involved. Mia Goth. I love Mia Goth. The Joyner Ortega knockoff, or whatever. I don't know. They look similar. So, this is going to get a 3.5. That's why I gave it on Letterboxd. A 7.5 out of 10 points. 7.5 out of 10. And a B-. Graceful. Not bad enough. Not too shabby. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with Star Wars in the future. But that's my rating for this movie. Hopefully you leave a like. If you did enjoy the review, and let me know. Be sure in the comment section to ask me about things about Jon Campea. Oh, he gave me one thing. He gave me one thing to say. Deadpool and Wolverine will be in the opening of Avengers Doomsday. So, please, you heard it from you. You now know that Jon Campea. You heard it from Jon Campea. That heard from me. No, you heard it from me. That heard it from Jon Campea. So. That's what's happening. That's something that's happening in the opening of Avengers Doomsday. I heard from Jon Campea. So don't forget to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it. And you can comment about Jon Campea in the comments below. I also do have a post on my community tab if you want to check out the images over there. Here on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm. Watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.